Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another video. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, to you and yours, to one and all. This is probably like if football was the day of the year, it would be today. Like Thanksgiving, you know, turkey, the sides, football, just the holidays, kind of just the whole thing. Best time of the, clearly the best time of the year. I don't see how it could be any other time. I mean, come on. Anyways, we've got a lot of football today. High school, college, just the whole thing. If you like football, today's the day. It's tremendous. So we're gonna be doing our picks. I mean, we're kind of getting down to the end here. Unfortunately, last week in November. So it's bittersweet. As you know, so it's week 13, and we'll be getting started here. So we have 3 games today. None of them are particularly compelling. Like maybe Dallas Buffalo, but yeah, I don't know. Excuse me. Anyway, so Dallas Buffalo. I mean, I guess it's kind of like a rematch of like old Super Bowl. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so first game today, 12:30 noon, just afternoon Eastern time. Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are a disappointment. I mean, like, you know, I know Stafford's been down. They're 3-7-1. You know, you had Patricia had his first year last year. You figured they kind of turned things around this year. You know, Detroit's been just god awful forever. Nope, still terrible. Still only have 3 wins. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see kind of how it plays out with this team here. If Patricia is along for this world there in Detroit or not. I mean, they tend to give you know, the coaches some room in Detroit, but I mean, I don't, just doesn't have it apparently. Anyway, I mean, you know, you can look at like the personnel on that team. It's not necessarily like the greatest team, but still, it should be better than 3-7-1. And you look at the Bears on the other hand. Mitch Trubisky, who's an absolute dumpster fire, complete garbage, absolute mess, is just, I mean, they bet on the wrong horse in Chicago. I mean, that much is pretty clear. I mean, they just did not. I mean, you look at these other teams. You know, you look at Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson, and you look at Kyler Murray. Now that he's like really setting the world on fire, but you get the idea. You look at some of these other, you know, Dak Prescott. You look, I mean, these other, you know, young quarterbacks around the league. You know, Carson Wentz. You know, just some of these guys. I mean, I was gonna say Sam Darnold, but like, I don't know. He's been turning it around. He's been putting in some good performances as of late. I mean, he kind of stunk it up. You know, in his first few starts this year after coming back from being sick. But, like, you know, still, like, you look at, you know, Jimmy G, he's not really that young. He's kind of a little older. You know, you look at some of these guys, and then you look at Mitch Trubisky, and jeez, I mean, the guy blows. He's terrible. But, you know, so it's like that's kind of a lot of their problem there, and that's really been the Chicago Bears' problem forever, is they've never really had a quarterback there. It's always been the defense, the run game. It's never really been. They've never really been a great passing team in Chicago, and that continues to now. I mean, they gotta do something there. You know, in the draft, they gotta make some kind of a move, because this sucks. Like, this is not gonna work. They're 5-6. They got a good defense, and it feels like that kind of happens every now and then. You got these teams with these great defenses that just waste the defense, like the Bills. I know Allen. You know, he's turned a corner, it seems like, in Buffalo, but still, like, you know, I don't know, you get these teams that just can never put it all together, you know what I mean? And the Bears are just wasting, you know, the window that they have, having a great defense. You know, went to the playoffs last year and whatnot, but I mean, this is bad. It's just, I mean, come on. So anyways, you know, I look at this game, Thanksgiving, you know, I don't know what it's like the NFC, like they always have. It's always NFC matchups on Thanksgiving. Maybe it's because the NFC is like the older league, and so those are like the more traditional, the more classic matchups or whatever. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of some of these games are a little weak. But anyways, I got God, this is a dumpster fire. Give me the Bears winning this game, just because. Well, you know what? No, it's in Detroit. Give me Detroit. Just cause, I mean, woof. This is bad. I didn't realize before I started talking about this how bad this is, but yeah, I'll take. Just give me Detroit. Next game up, Dallas and Buffalo. This is probably the better of the 3 games here. So the Buffalo Bills, tremendous defense, unbelievable. They're 8-3, which I saw some stat. That's like the first time they've been 8-3 in like 20 years or something like that. Now they've played a garbage schedule. Like they've played the worst teams in the league, and I'm pretty sure the 3 losses were to like 3 of the best teams in the league. But if you just look at who they beat, it's like, oh, they're 8-3. Wow, they must be great. No. Just cool your jets, all right? Get the pun, the jet, because the AFC East, the jet, you know, whatever. Anyways, total dad joke. We got so yeah, week 1 they beat the Jets, they beat the Giants, they beat the Bengals, they lost to the Patriots. They beat the Titans, they beat the Dolphins, they lost to the Eagles, they beat the Redskins, they lost to the Browns, they beat the Dolphins again, they beat the Broncos, and today they're playing the Cowboys. So they've played the worst teams, basically, and they've lost to the few good teams. That is a fraud, ladies and gentlemen. That is a fraud team, the Buffalo Bills. Now, their defense is really great. Allen started making some throws, but no, not a fraud team. Dallas, on the other hand, just got it pushed in by New England's defense. Just got completely destroyed by New England's defense on that Sunday. Was it Sunday night or Sunday afternoon? I think it was Sunday afternoon, but it was a national game. It went up to Dallas Cowboys went up to New England last week. They went up there and didn't go very well. It was like, I mean, I watched the game because it was a national game. Even though I got that Sunday ticket, though, I highly recommend Sunday ticket. They're not paying me. I'm just just saying, it's pretty nice. They up to New England. It's like raining sideways. It's a wind. It's like a hurricane going down up there. And the Cowboys just they didn't come to play. We're not looking very good. I mean, you had Zeke running, and that was, he more or less did what he does. Didn't really have any huge runs, but he was, was consistent. And Dak was just not. I mean, the New England's defense is just a tremendous defense. That's really what it comes down to. But you can just see how the Cowboys were not well coached in this game. Special teams. I think they made like 3 special teams mistakes, like 4 muffed kick returns. Like what that's coaching, all right? Jason Garrett, Marone. Like this guy, it's got to go. I mean, they're wasting talent. They got a great offense. They got a good enough defense. And they're not getting results because Jason Garrett has got to go. So, anyways, you know what I think they need to do? Like, if I were them, I would bring in like Greg Roman, somebody like that. You know what I mean? Like fire Garrett, but he's the offensive coordinator of the Ravens, I believe. And you can see what the Ravens are doing on offense. I mean, clearly the dude's got a clue. Anyways, you get the idea. I got Dallas winning this game. They need to bounce back. He's coaching for his job this week. And it's in Dallas anyways. Next game, New Orleans Saints at the Atlanta Falcons. So the New Orleans Saints just got completely destroyed by the Atlanta Falcons the last time they played. And the Atlanta Falcons suck. They're 3-8. Like, I don't even know what the record was then. Like 1-6 or like 7, or I don't even know. Yeah, I think what happened was in this game, and New Orleans bounced back from, but I think New Orleans goes into Atlanta, or was it at home? I don't know. Two NFC South Dome teams. I got to just yuck. Anyways, you look at you look at the Saints team. The Saints team stacked, unbelievable, tremendous offense, high flying passing game. They got horses for receivers. They got just unbelievable. Defense is pretty good. And then the last time I played Atlanta, I mean, I'm pretty sure what I would chalk it up to is they just kind of were sleepwalking through the game, like, oh, it's Atlanta, Atlanta sucks, and they just kind of, it's kind of like some of those games when, like Seattle would, like, play the Cardinals, or, like, New England would play the Jets, or, kind of those, like, divisional matchups where, like, one really good team plays a crappy team, and they're just kind of like, all right, well, we're just going to kind of sleepwalk through this one. I think that's kind of what it was, and they didn't really care if they lost, which is dumb, because the NFC is like wide open. I mean, you look at the playoff picture right now, for the NFC, and it's like one loss. You're like one win or one loss could make you the first seed or out of the playoffs. Like that's like 49ers are 10-1, Saints are 9-2, Seahawks are 9-2, Packers are 8-3, Vikings are 8-3, and the Cowboys are 6-5. Then followed, not close behind, by the 6-5 Rams, 5-6 Bears, 5-6 Eagles, 5-6 Panthers. Like, then you know what I mean? So it's like it's so wide open. Like anybody can You know, I mean, you need somebody to lose, but I mean, I still have the Saints being the #1 seed because the only thing separating the 49ers and Saints is one loss. And if you didn't know, the San Francisco 49ers are going to a place called Baltimore, Maryland, to take on this team called the Ravens on Sunday afternoon. I don't even know how is this not a Sunday night game? Jeez, I mean, this could be the game of the year. It's my game of the week, as you can see. Anyways, you know, it's like you look at this team, this Saints team, and it's like I honestly think they're the best team in the NFC. I think the 49ers are kind of playing a soft schedule. They kind of have. So I mean, it's going to be interesting here because you get the 49ers playing Baltimore this week. They're playing the Saints next week, and so we're kind of gonna. This is gonna separate the men from the boys here, if you catch my drift. So anyway, they're playing the Seahawks in the final week of the season. So you know, you look at this, and you know, it's really wide open as opposed to the AFC, which is like the Patriots 10-1, Ravens 10-2, and then you got the 7-4 Texans, 7-4 Chiefs, 8-3 Bills, 6-5 Steelers, 6-5 Ravens. You know, it's kind of. It's more top heavy, you know. It's the Patriots, it's the Ravens, and you know, and that's basically it. I mean, there's a Grand Canyon worth of difference in talent between the Patriots and the Ravens and the Bills and the Steelers, who are somehow a playoff team. Like can you explain to me how the Steelers are a playoff team but the Raiders and Colts aren't? Does that make a lot of sense? Steelers are like a different quarterback every week. Anyways, yeah. So you know, you know, it's one of those things. Anyways, I've got New Orleans winning this week. They're way better than the Falcons. It's just kind of one of these instances where they kind of, you know, sleptwalked, you know, into that Atlanta game, if you will. Just kind of, you know, thought they were going to roll and didn't. So, anyways, they'll be back this week. Well, they'll be back later today. It was a Thursday night game. Anyways, next game Sunday afternoon, Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Woof. It's kind of an ugly game. I mean, the Browns are 5-6. The Steelers are 6-5. The Browns somehow are like the 10th seed. They're like 4 removed from the play, which I don't understand because they've got almost the same record as the Steelers, who are 6-5. But I mean. Well, I mean, I guess it's because they're in the same division, but I mean, it's, yeah. Anyways, the Browns are basically out of it. Freddie Kitchens just doesn't know what he's doing. Steelers, on the other hand, you know, Tomlin's got somewhat of a clue, excuse me, not a crew. He's got a crew, too. The crew is, you know, it's a little bit, you know, his crew's out there, like you know, having, like, helmets thrown at them and stuff. But, anyways, you know, Cleveland doesn't really have much to play for here. The Steelers do, because somehow they're in the play. I mean, that's a one-and-done team. I mean, because right now, if the playoffs started today, the Steelers would play the Texans in the wild card round and they'd lose. But somehow they won, then they go to New England in the divisional round and lose. So, I mean, kind of a lost cause for the Steelers. But, you know, they're in the playoffs. Anyways, I look at, which is weird because, oh, you know what? I know why the Browns aren't. It's because the Ravens and the Steelers are in the playoffs. So you can't have, like, your whole division in the playoffs. Anyways, you know, I think this game here, it's in Pittsburgh. The Steelers have something to play for. The Browns are kind of all over the place. Give me the Steelers win the game. These two teams know each other well. I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland won, but I mean, just, yeah, I guess Pittsburgh. It's an ugly game. Next game, Green Bay Packers at the New York Giants. Not much to talk about here. Give me the Packers. Next game, Eagles at Dolphins. Give me the Eagles. Buccaneers at Jags. They're both 4-7. They're both two of the most irrelevant teams. No, let's know. Most irrelevant teams in the league are like Cincinnati, Tampa, Washington. Unfortunately, like the Redskins used to be a great team, and they've just been bad for so long that people don't really look their way very often. But yeah, no, I look at yeah, give me Jacksonville. You get Tom Coughlin complaining about their performance. You know, yesterday. So I mean, give me the Jags. It's in Jacksonville. Both these teams. Like, whenever I see both these teams, like, all right, I'm not watching that one. I mean, it's just, I mean, other than like 2 years ago when the Jags had something. Since then, not what a fall from grace there. Next game, Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. It's at Indy. They're both 6-5. They're both in the AFC South. They're both neck and neck in the hunt for the playoffs. So probably neither of them are going to make it. The Colts are the 8th seed. The Titans are the 9th seed. Yeah, I don't. Like, I'm not sure about that. I mean, this is. I got Indy winning the game. It's in Indianapolis. You know, Indianapolis has, you know, a little more of a clue than Tennessee does. Man, Tennessee last year, Tennessee was like playing well. They're rolling. Then they blow out New England, and then they just completely fell apart. Like I haven't heard of about the Tennessee Titans. Like they were in the playoffs 2 years ago, right? With what's his name, the coach there that they fired after there, which like I don't really make a lot of sense. Like he takes you to the playoffs for the first time in forever. They got rid of him, and then they turn to crap because they actually not quite. They bring in what's his name, Vrabel. You know, they're pretty good last year. They beat New England, and then they, you know, like it seems like there's like a curse. Like whenever teams beat New England, like after that they always just it's like, pff, like they just fall apart. You know. It's like a Bill Belichick curse, perhaps. But, you know, anyways, they were rolling, and then since then, haven't done anything. It's been bad. They're 6-5. They're yuck. Mariota, you know, what a mistake. That guy, you know, Hawaiian punch there. What a disaster. Guy just can't throw. And so now they got, who do they even have now? I mean, this is one of the most irrelevant teams. It's like, what was it? Oh, yeah, Ryan Tannehill. They've had a Ryan Tannehill, who, you know, it's right. Like, Ryan Tannehill came from the Dolphins, Ryan Tannehill, I'm just, like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, the Titans, Ryan Tannehill, like, there's nothing interesting there, all right? You know, so Tannehill, he's actually been playing well. I forgot about that. Yeah, so because that's how irrelevant the Titans are. Tannehill's actually been playing well. I think he's, you know, they turned it around. They were pretty bad the whole year. I mean, they're still bad now. But, it was basically 0-11 Cincinnati Bengals. But anyways, you know, it's like, yeah, it's yeah, I mean, you got, if Tannehill, Ryan Tannehill, who's the definition of mediocre, like, I'm pretty sure, yeah, just yuck. And he's kind of like leading this surging Titans team, this resurgent Tennessee Titans squad. Yeah, like I just, it's not going anywhere. I mean, they're not making the playoffs, but it's I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens long term with this team because they need a quarterback. It's not Tannehill, but Tannehill's he's playing well. But anyways, I got Indianapolis in this game. Next thing I have the Jets at the Bengals. Give me the Jets. I was going to do with the Bengals for a second. Something that's funny. So everybody thought that the Dolphins were going to tank, right? And they have. The Dolphins are so bad they can't even tank properly. Like, they're 2-9, which gets you nothing. Because everybody's like, yeah, we're going to tank for Tua. We're going to tank. We're going to be 0-16. We're going to get that #1 pick. We're going to draft Tua. And that was funny is, like, despite their best intentions, the Dolphins somehow won a couple games, despite trying really hard to lose. And then Tua gets hurt, like a massive like hip injury, and so now he's going to fall in the draft. So he's not going #1 overall anymore. And so it's like, and then the Bengals are 0-11, and they're going to get the #1 pick. So it's like just completely just scattered over here. But yeah, no, I got the Jets winning this game. Next game, the Redskins at the Panthers. Give me the, oh man, the Panthers got completely destroyed last week by the or I'm sorry, the week. No, was it the Panthers? What the hell am I thinking of? No, they could. No. Oh no, I remember what happened. I was watching the Saints and the Panthers game. The Saints were blowing out the Panthers like 30-0. I'm like, oh wow, look at this Panthers team sucks, right? Ron Rivera's getting canned, you know that. But and I'm like, oh wow, the Saints are blowing them out. And then I'm like watching something else, and I come back, and it's like 31-31 with 2 minutes left. It's all tied up. That's why I thought they got blown out, because I'm like, oh yeah, they got blown, because that's like the last thing I remember, basically, is they were getting blown out 30-0. And then I came back at like the end of the game just to see what happened, and it was like 31-31, and it was like a you know, the Panthers went down to kick a field goal, and they missed, and then the Saints came down with no time left, and they kicked, and they got it, and they won. It was actually turned out being a close game. It looked like a blowout at the beginning, but it was a close game. Which I think it more has to do with the fact that both the Panthers and the Saints, they're in the same division. They know each other well. Kind of sort of like the Falcons win over the Saints. However, it's starting to get a little concerning with the Saints in these kind of close games. I mean, you've seen, like, you just kind of what it, predicts, or sort of what it, what, going off of that, looking at the playoffs, trying to sort of forecast what's going to happen. 2 years ago, there was that Minnesota Miracle with, what's his name, at the end, the Vikings beat the Saints in the playoffs. Last year, there was the bad call against the Rams. Like, all these close kind of iffy games, and it's like, the Saints should be putting some of these teams away, and they're not. Even though they're winning almost all the games, but still, something's a little uncomfortable there. But anyways, Redskins suck. Give me the Panthers. Next game up, game of the week, possibly the game of the year. The San Francisco 49ers at the Baltimore Ravens. It should be, like, illegal that this game is at 1 o'clock on Sunday. This should be a prime time arse game is what this should be. I mean, I guess they could have flexed it, but I think what it has to do with is like the 1 o'clock window, CBS. But I think in this case it's actually Fox because it's an NFC away game and an AFC team. It looks like almost always Fox games. And then Sunday night is NBC, and then everything else is CBS. And so I think, like, if you're Fox, like, why would you want to lose this game? It's ratings gold right here. Not as much as the Cowboys and the Patriots. That's ratings gold. But this is pretty damn good. I mean, Cowboys and Patriots, whether both of those teams are great or they suck, they both happen to be pretty good this last time. They're going to get watched just because of the fan bases and, the notoriety and whatnot. The 49ers in Baltimore, sort of a rematch of, it is a rematch of Super Bowl a few years ago with the 49ers and Ravens, except at that point it was Joe Flacco and Colin Kaepernick. Remember that was the game where, like, the lights went out at the Super Bowl? But anyways, Ray Lewis, remember that? Yes, I look at this game here. I look at this is a great game. I mean, this is a game people are going to watch because these are two of the best teams in the league. So right now the Ravens are, the second seed in the AFC behind the Patriots. The Ravens did beat the Patriots a few weeks ago, so the Ravens have the tiebreaker over New England should they have the same record. So New England has the tendency at the end of the year to just start, like, they just kind of like give away a couple. They go to the Jets in like week 17 and just run the, because it's like, well, sometimes like when you have like the #1 seed locked up, unless you're undefeated, which did not happen for the Patriots this year. I wonder what's going to happen because it's very likely that the Patriots won't lose another game the whole year and finish 15-1. And then there were a lot of people talking about, it's going to be an undefeated New England team, especially when Antonio Brown was there. And then it's like if you go to the Super Bowl and you win or whatever, and then the only thing keeping you from the undefeated season was like one regular season loss to Baltimore. I don't know how I'd feel about that if I were in New England. I feel like that's like so close but so far. I mean, I guess the way you have to look at it is, because New England's 99% chance that they're going to have to play the Ravens in the AFC Championship game, right? It's just a question of where the game's going to be. And so if you have to play them again, I would have rather have lost to them the first time so then you can learn the lessons and, like, they can expose what you need to fix. Because if you eke out some ugly win and then, like, all of a sudden the next time they figure out what they need to do, which is just inevitable because whoever loses is going to, they're really going to study all that much harder for the rematch, you kind of want to be on the other end of that thing. So I guess you'd rather be New England in this scenario. But anyways, you can see how, the Ravens 9-2, Patriots 10-1. The Patriots can't afford one loss. Like, they can't. I mean, the Ravens are playing, the 49ers. It's likely they could lose this game. But still, like, you can't lose another game if you're New England or you're going to, you're not getting the #1 seed. And I mean, I think if you're New England, you do not want to go to Baltimore in the AFC Championship game. However, they did go to Kansas City in the AFC Championship game last year and won, but you still don't want to be. You don't want that. Anyways, so as far as this game goes, 49ers, you got Jimmy G, who I actually don't like Jimmy G. I mean, he's pretty good. He's a lot better than a lot of the garbage that's out there, but still, like, Jimmy G is a guy who makes all these great throws. He, gets the ball out, really fast. And he's, right on target. And he's accurate and everything for like 83% of the game, right? And then the other 17% of the game, he just throws like the worst picks you've ever seen. He'll just stare down a receiver for like an hour and get sacked and not feel any of the pressure coming, right? Get stripped. He'll just throw right at a corner and get picked. But other than that, he plays really well. But when he plays well until he plays terribly. Like, it's like a binary situation. He's either playing great or he's making these throws where you're like, how the hell, like a high school quarterback wouldn't throw that ball. You know what I mean? Which you kind of got, you kind of live and die by that one there. So you know, it is what it is. 49ers got a pretty good defense. I mean, it's not like New England's defense, but it's a damn good defense. You saw what they did, completely destroying the Packers last week. What was that, like 41-8? I believe that game was. 37-8. Okay, so they, whatever, yeah, same thing. Completely destroyed by the 49ers. The Ravens were, I'm sorry, the Packers were. And I thought the Packers, like, man, this Packers team's legit. This is a great team. It's unbelievable. Wow, look at this Packers team. They got completely destroyed by the 49ers. And that's not like what I was talking about a minute ago. It's not like the kind of loss where, you know, like you look at it and you say, oh, well, you know what? If they face each other in the playoffs, you know, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna sort it out. It's not like New England and Baltimore. Like, oh, well, they'll get them next time. No. When you get blown out 37-8, that's saying something else. What that's saying is, you're not necessarily you're a fraud. Because I don't think the Packers are a fraud team, but they're definitely not. You know, well, at that point they were 8-2. They were not quite playing at an 8-2 level, if you know what I mean. And so now you got to look at this whole thing differently. 49ers are a legit team. But then you look at Baltimore. Lamar Jackson is the living incarnation of Madden 2004 Michael Vick. Like, this guy, holy smoke. I mean, this guy can, wow. Like, you watch Lamar Jackson, like, I don't even know, like, forget the rules in the NFL. Forget, you know, like, you know, talent, or forget anything. You could put together any team you wanted with any rules you wanted, and you couldn't stop Lamar. Like, he's so fast that, like, it's like a human limitation. Just 90% of guys cannot catch up to Lamar Jackson. He's just that fast. And so, the Ravens defense it's okay. It's not great. It's okay. Like, that's what it's an okay defense. When the offense is playing like they're playing, then the Ravens defense can get the job done. But if the Ravens defense gets held up, which hasn't happened really this season at all, except for like a bad loss to the Browns, and I forget who the other loss was. You know, like, I don't think the Ravens defense can go out there and like get you the ball back against, like, you know, New England in an AFC, like, in New England. Like, that's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean? But when the offense is rolling, it's serviceable. It's not gonna let you down. It's good. It's good. It's not like those, you know, like Ray Lewis. It's not like those teams, those Baltimore defenses. But it's good. It's okay. We get the job done. But it's not the strength of the team. Okay, the strength of the team, which is kind of a scary proposition for the Ravens, it's Lamar Jackson. Here's the thing: without Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens are like the Tennessee type. Well, that's extreme, but for that whole thing to work in Baltimore, you need Lamar Jackson doing these unbelievable things. I think Lamar Jackson is better than Pat Mahomes was last year, because Pat Mahomes is what guy was. He cannot run like Lamar Jackson. No one runs like Lamar Jackson, except Michael Vick. People think he's better than Michael Vick. Lamar Jackson's not better than Michael Vick. Michael Vick just was not dedicated. He was just, when Michael Vick was trying, nobody else could play that style like he did. But the problem is he was too busy with his dog fights to you know, he couldn't really be bothered, if you know what I mean. So you know, you look at this game, you look at the 49ers, you look at the Ravens. It's in Baltimore, which is huge because San Francisco's going to travel all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast, which historically that's always not always, but it's often a problem for West Coast teams. It's at 1 o'clock, so there's some jet. I mean, there's just, it usually doesn't bode well for a West Coast team. But then the 49ers are no average West Coast team. I mean, it's a great offense. But you look at Baltimore, and like, that's the thing, like, Lamar Jackson can't be this fast forever, and he can't play this way forever. And I'd argue that Lamar Jackson doesn't really have a great arm. Like, he does, like, what big throws does Lamar Jackson make? Like, I'd say like 82, and there's a random number, but not random, but like 80% of his throws are like 15 yards or less. Maybe 85% of his throws are like 50. I mean, I don't have the stats in front of me, but like, if somehow you were to devise a way to keep him in the pocket and prevent him from running and shut down their misdirections and RP, like all that stuff they like to do, and just make him throw like 10, 20 yards every play, Then the Baltimore Ravens become an average football team because how they win is making you have to cover 6 guys, 5 receivers, 3 receivers, 2 tight ends, and Lamar Jackson, which is hard, and they're all fast. But Lamar Jackson is like the Tasmanian devil. That guy's so fast. Lamar Jackson's out there like Carl Lewis, like just friggin' flying. I mean, I've never seen a guy like that before. Except I've seen Michael Vick, but I mean, you get the idea. Like it's really a it's a tough situation. It's tough. It's a tough situation for any defense, for San Francisco, for anybody. Anyways, let me guess my pick. I've got San Francisco winning this game. I'll tell you why. I got San Francisco winning this game because the Baltimore Ravens, like you saw them against your last week, like going and what's his name? Earl Thomas is like, oh yeah, well, when we get to the Super Bowl, we're gonna, they're feeling their oats a little bit too much. You know what I mean? Like there's that. You get them like, what were they doing? Like I saw this like picture where they were like going in the stands and like taking beer from people. Like they're just too. It's like if they face the wrong team in the wrong game, they're gonna get knocked right on their ass. Like teams like that just are hot shot, showboating teams that they just think they're too good. Those are the teams that you just get it pushed in the play. Like those are the teams that just get completely knocked square in the mouth against the good. You know what I mean? Like it's just not. They start looking past opponents, and they start, that's usually never ends well in the NFL. So, yeah, anyways, so I got San Francisco winning this game. Here's why. San Francisco last week, now Aaron Rodgers is the guy, maybe like nobody else, who can, like, run around in the pocket and buy time and do all these crazy things. Last week, I watched the San Francisco 49ers. They were so up in Aaron Rodgers' business that, I mean, they were in Aaron Rodgers' face like Brett Favre in like 2000, just just totally, I can't say it on YouTube, but like totally blocking him, if you know what I mean. Like he's just bleep blocking him. You know what I'm saying? Like he was not having a good time. That 49ers team was doing such a great job of keeping Aaron Rodgers in that pocket and not letting him do his thing. And the Packers are another team where, like other than Aaron Rodgers running around and making all those plays, they're an average team. You know what I mean? So it's like, not many teams can do that. But the 49ers did it. The 49ers were able to contain Aaron Rodgers. And if they can do the same thing, I mean, and Lamar Jackson's a lot faster, but if they can do the same thing this week, not even the same, if they can at least do something similar to that, and just keep Lamar Jackson in that pocket, then which I think they can do because they just did it last week against another guy who can, do similar things. Maybe not as fast, but it's the same concepts. And San Francisco, they're well coached and they'll be ready for that. Yeah, no, I think they're gonna know like, hey, this is a 1 o'clock game. This is a tough place to play. We're playing a good team. Like they know they need to be ready, or they're gonna get embarrassed by the Ravens. Like so they know. You know what I mean? Like this isn't a team where it's like you're playing like the Panthers and all of a sudden it's like some surprise win. No. Everyone knows the Ravens are really good. Okay, everybody knows that. So you can't sleep on this game. They're gonna be ready. They're gonna be prepared. They're gonna know what they need to do. And I predict, the Ravens are really feeling like they're untouchable. So yeah, no, I think San Francisco is going to be able to keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket. The Ravens aren't going to know really how to adjust to that, because nobody's really done it to them completely successfully yet. And I think San Francisco is going to win this one. Next game, Rams and Cardinals. Give me the Rams. Chargers and Broncos. Give me the Chargers. These are easy ones. Oakland and KC. This is a tough one right there. Oakland and KC. Jeez. Man. Oakland and KC. Yeah. I got the Oakland Raiders win this game. Because the Oakland Raiders last week, this Raiders team last week was, because I've been high on the Raiders, right? They got blown out by the New York Jets. Blown out by the Jets. That's embarrassing. You get blown out by the Jets, and then they were, right on the cusp there of making the playoffs, and then you get blown up by. I mean, I don't know. The Chiefs are a team. It's a divisional opponent they know well. The Chiefs are 7-4. They've kind of been underachieving a little bit this year. Haven't really been able to find their footing. I got Oakland winning this game. Just they know they need this one, or else their playoff dreams are basically dead. They're Raiders are the 7th seed. They're right there up against the glass on the outside looking in. Like the Steelers are 6-5 as well. The Steelers are 1 loss away from being out. The Raiders are 1 win away from being in. The Chiefs are in it. I got the Raiders winning this game. Next game, Sunday night, New England at Houston. So this game here, it's an interesting game because the Houston Texans got demolished by the Ravens when they played. And that was 2 weeks ago. Like, completely destroyed by the Ravens. This is tough because New England's, I don't say they've always struggled against the Texans, but they've struggled against those kinds of teams. Mobile quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson's no Lamar Jackson. I mean, that's for sure. But nonetheless, I look at this game and I got New England winning this game just because they know that they can't lose a game or else they're behind the Ravens. So, and Houston's just not putting it together this year. Last game Monday night, Vikings Seahawks. So some of the Vikings are 8-3, which I was kind of sleeping on the Vikings, but yeah, they're 8-3. They're 8-3, and this is how good the NFC is. The Vikings are 8-3, and they're the 6th seed in the NFC. The Vikings are 8-3. They've got 3 losses, right? They're 8-3, and they lose one more game, they could be out of the playoffs. Like that's how good the NFC is. All right. And then you have the Seahawks at 9-2, and the Seahawks are 9-2. You know what's more messed up than that? The Seahawks are 9-2, and they're the 5th seed. And the Cowboys are 6-5 in the 4th, and I don't really get them. I mean, it's because they're the division, division right now. But you get the gist here. But so it's kind of a question of like, who needs this more, the Vikings or the Seahawks? It's in Seattle. Seattle's playing well. Give me the Seahawks. All right, guys, that's going to do for this week's picks. If you enjoyed this one, please let me know. If you disagree, agree, any of my picks, you want to talk some shop, let me know in the comments down below if you agree, disagree with any of the picks. And other than that, until next time, I'll do this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Happy Thanksgiving.